Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's live Q&A session with Mr. ChrisPalmer.org and my good self. Sponsored by 38 Digital Market. The link is below. Mr. Randy Rodé, PR, campaigns, and other client deliverables. Randy's a super solid guy, so make sure you do click on the link below if you're looking for a PR blast or any of his other services over at 38 Digital Markets. Holly Starks is here. Hope
Hi,
you're
Holly.
well, Holly. Hope
Good
the
to see
back's
you.
not giving you too much trouble. All I see now with Holly is not mobile phones and wires and mad shit. It's just my fucking back, my back.
Maybe Holly could help me out. I saw that Adobe came out with a new solution, Firefly, and they have it for video, and it's crazy. But what I want to know is what is the fusion of Adobe Firefly? Like, there's Midjourney for a dub, but then there's other solutions that are just as good, if not better, that are much cheaper and faster and better. Holly, do you know what's the Adobe, what would they call that? What would you call that? The comparable to Adobe Firefly for video. That's not the answer I was hoping for, but I'm glad to hear you're doing better, Holly. Adobe Firefly is stupid. Is it though? Dude, that video stuff is crazy. For video, Midjourney? Okay. Did you see what they were doing with the videos, Craig?
No.
Dude, I could be walking up the street holding little Chris's hand, and I can make it like I'm walking in a subway holding Shrek's hand. Dude, it's sick, dude. It's insanity. It's so cool. I could basically be having a picnic with my family, and it could be Brian Dean, Craig Campbell, and Neil Patel, and we're all having like chicken wings. I'm telling you, dude, it's insanity right now. So cool.
But like Holly is better. She's having a bad side effect from allergy meds, but I had a sore back for probably 6 months of last year, Holly. Real pain. Real pain. It wasn't fun. So whilst I'm laughing, I do sympathize. It's not fun. But Midjourney is what you need, Chris. Ursol is saying, hi guys. ZD Electrical and Connect SEO. Hey, China's. Good to see you doing. What other services does Randy offer other than press releases? He offers all sorts of services. Click on the link below and you'll be able to see them all. But he does run an agency. So he does clients, full service agency. So he does a lot more than just PR blasts. Let's just put it that way. But his website will describe more of everything that he can help you with. So check that out using the link below. Jerry White, SEO Geek. Good to see you, mate. Midjourney is bloody terrifying. Don't know if that's good or bad, Jerry. And Sir Klopp is here as well. Sir Klopp, good to see you. But we are here to answer questions. So stick your questions in the chat and we will blast through as many questions as we can within the hour. I dread to think what you're doing with Midjourney, Jerry. But hey, we'll say no more. Chris, I'd hire someone in graphics to learn Adobe Firefly and then give you a crash course. The learning curve is sick on it. That's what I do, Chris. I've got someone who does all of my graphics. That's why I'm not able to answer shit, because graphics is a big pain point for me. I'd love to be able to do, the way that my graphic person, I can say, right, put Chris's head on this and do that, and they can just do things, man, where it would take me 10 hours to come up with even just a kind of joke picture. So, yeah, I agree with Holly.
Sure.
Ursol, no, we don't. But he must be big to afford the sponsorship. But no, we don't split sponsorship money. But yeah, strange
Sounds
question.
good,
Don't know if he's want me to pitch Randy's stuff a bit harder. Is that you, Randy? But I threw my laptop when I was trying to learn it. Screw that. I need to plug and play. I'm very much the same, Holly. I get very frustrated with myself when it comes to things like that. Even now, I was trying to mess around with WordPress. I used to fuck around. I would have considered myself reasonably competent with WordPress. And yeah, I haven't done it for years. And I tried the other day to mess around with Elementor, making a little template up for something. Oh, dude, I was fucking lost. I just think you need to be in there all the time doing it. Randy did a website called Rent a Daughter. Did he?
Next question.
Yeah. I seem to recall something like this. I'm pretty sure there might be some truth in that. Dude, I'm telling
that sounds like a rabbit hole I don't want to go down.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that.
Randy's a great guy. I don't know what he did.
CapCut works a charm for graphics. I use CapCut on my phone for videos and stuff. Nice templates on there. So yeah, CapCut is decent. Barbie sequel. Should I bother with redirect links using SEO autopilot?
Well, I mean, if there's traffic or links pointing at something and there's equity that could be passed that's hyper relevant, then sure. But I mean, zero, like if I have a nothing page though, I'm not going to just redirect it because it's the best thing to do. It doesn't make sense to me. So, and then two, I'm still putting that in place where I'm still asking and requesting Google to like, hey, here, come follow this. I'd rather them follow this or come crawl the stuff that is producing dollars for the client. Personally, but that's me.
I think I wouldn't do it just for the sheer hell of doing it. I think there's got to be traffic and stuff running through there. So pretty much what Chris says.
I just had not a fight, but a small argument. We had a client and they had all these blog articles. I mean, we're talking, let's say 150, 200 different articles, all getting nothing. Dead wood, right? In the structure, supporting the word blog, like dead. They had 0, 0, 0, 0 down the board. I look and I out of those 150, there was probably 10 that had some links pointing to them. So I said, all right, we're going to kill this and redirect this over to the new blog because we built our blog to support the main idea. Dude, they had a fit. I'm like, there's nothing. This isn't going to hurt you. It cannot hurt you. Erasing nothing doesn't hurt. I guarantee it. I've never seen anybody erase dead pages and get smoked for it. Never. That's me though.
Yeah.
Have you?
No.
Nah. I've seen guys screw up other pages by redirecting instead of their homepage to a primary service page. They had 200 blog articles and they don't want to erase them, so they redirect it to their primary plumbing page that they want to win, and then magically the page goes down. I wonder why.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I'm just the SEO guy.
But Holly is asking, do you think social media posts are as powerful as guest blogs, or can they be?
I think yes, depending on how they're being used. There is certainly power there. Not in the sense like building links power as in traffic. Exactly.
Branded traffic and stuff. Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think, certainly in the UK, I see an Instagram post ranking for, a seriously competitive search term or anything like that, but certainly for branded traffic and stuff, I see a lot of social media up there for branded terms. And I think even when doing reputation management and stuff, utilizing social media, because the power of the platforms, you can shuffle around in page one quite easily for those branded terms. So yes, they can be.
And you can hurt I was playing around with some stuff when I've been making I call them social citations since forever, right? But anyway, I was making ones. I like, what's his name, Paul's, the way he phrases it, opinion sculpting. I forget the dude,
Yeah.
right?
Peter Van de Graaf.
Yeah, I like that term the opinion sculpting. So I was out there laying stuff out about Chris, and yes, it worked. It ranks. But for some odd reason, it didn't dawn on me, hey, not only you and your friends are going to see this, and they just pile in there. Oh man. So I love social. I love Reddit, LinkedIn. Yes, you can say a lot out there really fast and cheaply about a competitor or about yourself, and have people find it with variations of reviews, reviewing. Dude, it's yes, Holly, yes.
Business Growth Ready says elementary shit. And Holly, on this, I know a guy that's in my mastermind whose only traffic source is Pinterest. And I'm not joking, he makes a fuck ton of money. So Pinterest is something I've struggled to get to grips with because I've tried it. I've bought courses on it. That fucking thing ain't popping for me. But the guy said that is doing well with it. Is some of his stuff is old. It takes a while to pop. Like, it's not something you're going to get instant success with. So you just need to figure it out. But yeah, there people are doing very, very well from traffic from only like the likes of Pinterest and various other platforms. So 100%, Ollie. 100%. And Jerry White says Team Canva when it comes to those images, Chris. Canva's for pussies like me and Holly, where we can just literally drag and drop. But
yeah, but is that because even for the images, can I make? It's not like Firefly though, right?
No,
or right,
no,
right.
no. So it's definitely not like Firefly. Barbie sequel. Should I bother with a rapid indexer links using Scrapebox?
I mean, it's not something that I don't use it. I can't speak on it. I don't know. No, I don't use it.
I think a lot of the indexing tools are no longer as effective as they once were. There are a few that's still working, but yeah, I wouldn't be using that with Scrapebox. Scrapebox still a great tool, but for that, I don't use it. Barbie sequel. What about the part net sole trademark pages for linking domains?
I don't know what that means.
Neither do I.
Sorry.
But
Net
sole
sole
I
trademark.
want to know what it is. Give me a second.
There we go. All right. Well, I'll pile in too.
Spam links being indexed. Lots of referral from NetSol trademark PHP spam. I wouldn't bother with those type of links. I just don't think you're going to get a huge amount of value out of something like that. That's my personal opinion. But Chris, would you utilize those spam pages for linking?
Not to my site. Hey, do we use Scrapebox in GSA? Yes. If we want if we build 100 citations and we want more to be indexed or show up to convey more value to a client, yes, that's what we use them for. But as far as pointing it to the site and producing any extra value, that's debatable. That's not.
I mean, I've used websites that have got shell access. I've done all the dirty dog stuff, but that's got to be the lowest of the low, that one, in terms of link juice and link equity.
I think that's why you're building the whole list.
Yeah.
Like, you got to just slam it. But, and really too, if you build, let's just say it's citations, take your 50, put it in there, take your list of whatever it is, 100 million, click the button, turn it on, and all right, when it's month time, all right, job done. At the end of the month, when it's time, the job's done. I mean, good work. You did a good job, Chris. It's not a deliverable by any stretch. But I have seen it, like, yes, we get more citations to index. Yes, our PRs stay in longer. Instead of getting 5 or 10 PRs to pop, we might get 20. There might be a whole page of stuff. So it is effective in that sense. But as far as like passing juice or equity, maybe some link juice is going to be passed through the tier, but that's lost through the categories or the relevance, because you're just building anything. That's why I like citations, the PRs, stuff that already exists.
Yeah.
Personally, that's us though.
In the SEO space, you don't see many people talk about social media posts versus guest posts. That is true. I think SEO, in my opinion, I see a lot of SEOs just obsessing over SEO traffic. They don't really think of the bigger picture. A lot of them are, focused in that organic search and don't bother too much with anything else, but maybe they should be. I certainly always have tried to grab other sources of traffic over the years, but I think a lot of them are kind of got that one train of thought and become a bit obsessive over organic only. But hopefully that changes. Eric McDonald, in terms of a monthly retainer to achieve results for a customer, what is the minimum number of hours you would do each month to get results for a client, and what would you focus on? Very, very generic question, Eric. This depends on, obviously the initial audit. Has the client even got landing pages? Has the client, got landing pages, but maybe they need on page? Does the client have a poor backlink profile? Which one of these would you focus on would really depend on each client. Which one of those would you tackle first? If a website's got no content, no landing pages, then probably the first couple of months would have to be spent laying that out properly before you go and build links. If the budget allowed, you could also go away and build links. But again, when you're working with clients, budget is always limited. So would I hit it depends. Some clients come to me with amazing on page and landing pages. They just have a really poor backlink profile, and they maybe need a bit of CTR or traffic sent to certain pages to nudge things up a little bit. So again, that would be the first thing I'd focus on for that person. So it varies from client to client. That's how I see it. But Chris, do you? What do you do?
Well, that section in that question, number of hours, I mean, that true. If you add up everybody that's working towards a common goal, which is called the scope of work, that's a lot of hours. So I think that varies based on client. And then there's not really much to add. What's the scope of work? Right? How many hours and how much work needs to be done is based on, well, what does the site need? Do they need content restructuring? Do they need us to upload it? Do they need images? Do they need new images? Like what? That's a very broad question, sir.
But Chris, here's the other thing, and I don't like this when people talk about number of hours. How can you allocate a number of hours to you spending $1,000 on links? Like, how can you quantify that into hours? Like, I could spend $5,000 in an hour quite easily on links. I could tell the client that was 45 hours worth of work, whatever you want. So I don't know if equating everything to a number of hours, it's not something, we're not selling labouring services here. I think selling it on an hourly basis rather than a value-based proposition would be more in line with what I would do. Trying to quantify things into a certain number of hours. Should I be penalised because I can work faster, I've got more experience, and so on and so forth as well? Absolutely not. So because I only do 5 hours worth of work, because I know what to buy, where to buy it, doesn't mean I should only be paid for 5 hours. So I think, the hour thing is something I would try and steer clear of personally when talking to clients as well, because, at some point you're going to have to be buying up some stuff, and it's hard to do that. So, but of course, it's up to yourself. I know a lot of people who do say, you get 40 hours a month for your $3,000 retainer, whatever it might be.
Looks good on a web page, but
yeah.
they're not. I've never talked to a business owner though that even cares 2 licks about the SEO, the deliverable. They're not buying SEO or your time. They're buying a result. So I never got into the hour thing, but that needs to be equated though for what I'm going to cost per page. What's it take to make a page? That's on your end, not conveyed to them.
Yeah.
But best wishes, sir.
Yeah. People mentioning Reddit for parasite SEO. What could typically be promoted that way, e.g., which niches, products, etc., on Reddit specifically?
For us at this present time, it's really let's just say it's a review, right? X brand in a review, or X brand versus this brand. And then there's a straw man conversation within the post. See, then there's like comments, so that's been the main focus. It's really going to be about a brand, or have you reviewed this brand, or have you this brand versus this brand? What should I choose? That's what I would do. That's as far as promoting an actual product. No, it's more about taking up more real estate for my name or a competitor's name, or guiding. Like if I know, hey, this is a top player and I want to extract some value from them for my client, well, I'll do a versus, because now I'm popping for both. And then one of the most common things is if you're a winner inside of MapPack, the very next thing as a customer, I would assume would be, well, it's what are people saying about this? Well, and then I can guide the conversation. But sometimes it backfires. I've set up conversations for myself and it's gone bad. So you have to be selective, but that's I never tried pitching a product though, personally. It's just, I like that word of opinion sculpting is what once Google started allocating them real estate, we developed a process. But it's very tough. And then plus too, buying good Reddit accounts, it becomes difficult too. The people who are selling them, I think they've realized the value of them. So they went from $5 a piece to $30 a piece, and they go fast.
But I've seen all sorts of bizarre stuff in Reddit as well. Even the feet niche and everything else can be promoted using Reddit. So there we go. Holly says we're going to open a social media network: TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, and Pin. Some of the Pin accounts are getting 30 to 50k a month traffic. I think that is more valuable than guest posts. Why not? Why not? Traffic is money. So
depends on the business.
Yeah,
if you can see that value. You get me 50,000 eyeballs, I understand that value.
Yeah. Andreas, a guy let my client's 3-pack results tank big by placing a good 24 fake duplicate GMBs of existing people in the area. I had them removed and now back to top rankings. Is this a common attack spam tactic, Chris? Have you seen that happen?
For sure. Definitely. I don't know about common, but it's definitely a spam tactic. No question. In the same building, different positions, longitude and latitudes in the same building, as if you're the business owner trying to manipulate. I mean, I've had it happen to me before, but I don't know if it's common. I hated it so much I made a video about it, and I was like, hey, look at this.
Dude, I done it years ago when someone was changing the open date on my GMB to a date in the future to switch my GMB off, and I fucking made a video about it and posted it and tagged a few Google people in it. And I'm like, fuck you guys, I can't be fucked with this game every day. So there you have it. What is your mastermind? An exclusive club of big guns? Certainly not. There's a mixture of people. I'm not going to say there's big guns or little guns or anything like that. A mixture of people, some starting out, some very experienced people, and anyone is welcome. You can check that out on my website, craigcampbellseo.com. Top right-hand corner, there's a link to it, £69 a month, and there's a whole bunch of great information in there. And Palmer also has a mastermind, which I'm sure you can find at chrispalmer.org.
I'm about to change that, though. I've been thinking hard about that. Almost like a review process.
Yeah.
I think I'll have the open, low cost, but I think for some other things, I want it to be more exclusive.
Yeah.
But definitely open for now.
Chris, Holly has just emailed you.
Cool.
You best reply or there's going to be trouble. Keep the questions coming, guys. We will go through them as fast as we can. We're only at 19 minutes past 5 on the questions, although it is 32 minutes past 5. So there are a whole bunch of questions sitting here, but please be patient. We will get round to them. And also, if you're watching, please do give us a little like and subscribe if you can as well, because Barbie sequel is right. Hit the damn button. This is free, and they do it every week. And this will be the 4th year. Yeah, the 4th year, 2020.
Crazy.
Is when it started. So, yeah.
We've been doing it. It's fun, man.
Jude McLean, he's asking what is your mastermind? Someone actually asked this in the mastermind today about Ahrefs alternatives, and I think there was SEO Ditty was one. SEO ranking was another that someone else suggested. I think that was only 2 that they mentioned, but I'm still using Ahrefs. I like DR. I'm just used to the setup, but obviously not happy with the pricing increase. So I haven't yet found a good alternative. I've got a link building agency, and we typically use DR as a metric to assess websites, as everyone in the link building game does. So I kind of have to stick with it. But Chris, do you know of any alternatives?
No, I mean, I stick with the top 3. I mean, Majestic, SEMrush, and Ahrefs. If I showed you my VPS, that's what's the top 3 bars that we use just for that. That's what we use. Those 3. That's it, man. No, not yet. I mean, of course, like I just saw Holly, like I met the gentleman that does SEO Atlas, and like there's other players coming, but as of now, those are the 3 that I'm using.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry we couldn't help you any more than that, Jude. Sir Klopp, if I have 30 websites with one hosting provider, does Google consider this as a PBN? Now, before Chris answers this, I'm going to tell you that a company like Duda And I'm not dismissing Duda, by the way, but Duda have all of their websites on one server, on one IP address.
Two, technically speaking, yeah. 23 million or something.
So that begs the question, does Google consider this as a PBN if you've got 30? You know, it's rookie numbers in the grand scheme of things. And I think for me, Chris, as a guy who loves PBNs, I am probably overly cautious where I had one hosting account, one Gmail, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, I'm going to segregate it all. Now, was that stupid? Was I overthinking it? I probably think I was, to be honest, at that number that you talk about, Sir Klopp. But what do you think, Chris?
Well, I think with the advancements of, Kimi, Google Cloud, and all these ways to hide out in the open, I wouldn't be overly concerned with that. Starting off when we started building, like I was hyper anal, right? But you're able to hide in plain sight. So like when I do individual hosts, like sign up at SiteGround, sign up at Bluehost, sign up at Insanity. That is not the way that I would do it. I think you'll spend a lot more time going through the process other than setting up what you're trying to get to. It's very unnecessary. It's unnecessary. I don't think that's crazy. But if you want that set up, people sell that for $4 a site. I think Easy Blog Networks does that for you. Separate IP, separate everything, or whatever, whoever. There's a ton of them out there. Tons. Nah, man.
I wouldn't be too worried in those figures, to be honest.
But now, if you started interlinking those 30, right, cross-linking and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
30 sites, though. I mean, congrats on the 30, but that's rookie numbers. I'm just busting.
Nah, you're doing well, Sir Klopp. Keep them going.
Yep.
But try and mix them up. Don't go 30 to 300 using the one hosting provider. I wouldn't recommend it. Just because I'm a bit of an anal pain in the arse when it comes to that. But hey, that's it. Eric McDonald has a travel client, a travel agent client who has good traffic and ranks well for the primary keyword, but is looking to generate more sales. Would paid ads be a better option than SEO to achieve this? I'm going to go first on this one, Chris. I do paid ads on some of my websites, Eric, and it is an option to drive more sales for sure. Is it the better option? What I will say is organic traffic converts a hell of a lot better than paid ads. Now, when I look at the traffic I get from organic and look at the traffic I get from paid ads, the amount of time I spend in SEO against the amount of money I'm spending in paid ads, SEO is still the most cost-effective solution. But speed, click-through rate, engagement, getting the brand out there, all of that kind of stuff, I think paid ads is a good option. But obviously the job is to try and reduce those paid ads at some point, and but I think getting a mix of traffic from all different sources, paid, paid ads, whether that be paid social media, paid Google ads, and whatever else, I think they're all good choices. But Chris, what is your take on it?
Well, I was thinking when I was reading it, why does it have to be either or? Why not both? They all help and complement each other. You have a long-term play and then you have a short-term play, but they work together. I think they should be used combined. If you're doing really good for a keyword or a keyword set, great. So double down. What's Google think the site's about? You're getting traffic for X topic. Well, how can we expand on that? Because you're automatically going to be a winner probably. And then try to get some more traffic. Why not? I don't think it's either or. I think it's both. We want it all.
Yeah. Hafiz Ali Raza, given the evolving landscape of SEO, how do you see the role of user experience influencing search rankings in 2024?
I think user experience and how people engage with a page has always been a factor in overall rankings, at least for the past few years. So with that being said, I see a lot of people spending a lot of money and time to make it. It's kind of like that argument with the speed. Like if I spend $20,000, I'll get a 1/10 of a second faster. Like it's just the same with the UI and the design and all. Like I think as long as you have a high quality piece of information and you're serving the intent and your site looks good enough, why wouldn't you be rewarded for that? I think it plays a massive role, and it always has. Now people are landing on your page and they're jumping right off, probably going to fall down in rankings. So as far as the role in user experience, huge role.
Yeah, I would agree. It's always been an important part of things. People have been doing CRO for a long time. These are not new things that are out there. People have been doing this stuff for years. And I think obviously Google is leveraging more and more weight onto that side of things in terms of a ranking signal. So, I think it's a big part of it. Go to chrispalmer.org, wherever you want to go to, but the pricing on iCopify compared to what a vendor sells is somewhat different. Chris sells them. I sell guest posts on linksforyou.com. There's hundreds of guys to buy guest posts from, all with different vendors and inventory.
That's the key for it right there. Inventory.
Yeah. But what I will say upfront and being transparent, Chris is way cheaper. So I try not sell to SEO guys who want guest posts for cost price. That's something I don't do. But Chris does them cheaper, so have a look over there. You've got to be honest and transparent. Mohammed, what strategies would you recommend to align SEO efforts with an enhanced user-centric approach? Chris, tell me what an enhanced user-centric approach means.
I was just these it's kind of like he went over to Chat GPT. I mean this in a friendly way, and he's like, yo, what's a good SEO question? And like it spit out them, and he's like, all right, copy paste. What strategies would you recommend to align SEO efforts with an enhanced user-centric approach? And it's perfectly aligned, right? Like well, sir, dude, I made a whole channel on this. What I think is the best way for an enhanced user-centric approach is by being visible on Google to begin with. Before anything else matters, I need to be able to get in those top 5 results, right? And then whether that's top 5 organic, top 3 in maps, or I'm in Google guarantee, YouTube. First and foremost, my main focus and my main concern is I need to get visible. So that's the real question. How can I make sure I'm getting visible? And then I can start worrying about, well, once I'm visible and I get those people, how can I be more user-centric? So best wishes, sir.
There you go. And it's Search Atlas that's been mentioned. Holly did say SEO Atlas. I do that stuff all the time. But Search Atlas, Ursol says have I used it? I haven't. Have you used it, Chris?
No, sir. I watched a few guys use it though. I hate to admit I'm old. I've been using certain things for a long time, man. I know how Ahrefs works. I know how Majestic works. I know how SEMrush works. Like, to get me to switch, you better have a banger. You know, like, it's got to be insane, crazy. Yeah.
But thoughts on Ubersuggest? Is it any use as a tool? Do you use it, Chris?
It is a good tool for lead generation for Neil and his company, for sure. Yeah, it's a great tool for him, but not for me or my agency.
I've never used it, so can't comment. Have heard of it, of course, but yeah, just never. Was always skeptical of what data it was pumping out. Given it's free for a period of time, so
it's a great lead gen tool.
Yeah. But yeah, I know how much data costs.
Just be handing
stuff out and be accurate. So that's all I'm going to say. Link in park domains help in SEO. Is there any procedure to get a link from a park domain? You know, essentially a park domain. Yeah, there isn't a procedure where you can legally go on and pump your link on there, is there, Chris?
I mean, no, but I've seen that used as a kind of like a little strategy. Like, it'll look like it's a park domain, and then there'll be those boxes. It'll say like, you know, ladies today, and or like Cialis for you, or whatever. And you're like, And then you look at the code, and then you go and check the host, and you're like, oh man, this is slick, man. Good idea. And it's always like a really good name that has a lot of high volume. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always like an exact match or something. No, but that's how I've seen it utilized and get a link. But a regular park, no, because that's always an option in a lot of the hosts. Like, do you want to park it or put it up for auction or whatever? I don't see how I could slip a link in there. The only guy getting a link off of that is, you know, like GoDaddy or Namecheap.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I never thought about it, really. I don't know how you would get a link from a park domain.
Worth investigating.
Maybe. Yeah.
How is your project going, Chris? Insane link building. How to get 1 million backlinks turned into 2.4 million visitors. You found a strategy being used by an animation site, GSA, and then forwarding those links.
Oh yeah, let's make that. Let's be clear on that. A friend of mine has used that strategy multiple times. And it's very clever, but for client work, that's not something that we do. That wasn't necessarily my project. It's a friend of mine. He has lots of them like that. So it's not mine.
The key question is, did it work?
Oh yeah, it definitely works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's had 7 iterations. Like the one I've shown, I think it's the one I showed. I don't know if I showed a gaming one or an animation one. He has a bunch of them. But he's on his like 7th or 8th iteration of that, you know? So like, you'll get a boatload of traffic and you'll get seen. But if you notice too, if you saw the site, all the traffic is just very random. You know, he's getting a lot of eyeballs to his assets though, but he'll only have a 6-month run, 3-month run. He'll have a run and then he'll essentially duplicate it and restart again. And I think he's probably on his 8th one by now for that category, for that niche. But I've seen him do that lots of times. Yeah, that's not what the type of SEO that I'm doing. That's fun. And it's like, you know, but no. I'm looking to drive phone calls for business owners. That's what I do.
Holly has all of our sites in one server too. Mr. Paul Lovell, good to see you. Long time no speak. Have you played around with Cloudflare pages, Chris?
Yeah, real pain in the behind. I have quite extensively. It's a pain. And where's the order button? Good luck with that. Yeah, I've played with it. Why? Are you finding that it's a pain in the butt? Torture, in fact. Yeah, dude. Cloud Pages is horrendous. That's a great idea. Helpful. But where do you pay? In order to get support, you got to pay $250. It's just, they're on their way. They're on their way. Best wishes to them.
Can you recommend a PBN provider, Chris? I know you mentioned.
Anybody that I know that is offering links, they're not selling off of a site that's going to be called pbnprovider.com.
Yeah.
I think that's changed. Like, if you're looking for PBN links, go to like Black Hat World. I know lots of guys over there. You might even find one of my Superman ads over there. You want them buck links? We got you. No problem. But yeah, I don't know if PBN is the best. You know what I mean? We're looking for sites that have high referring domain counts, and yeah, go to Black Hat World if you want PBN links. But I think there's a lot of quality guest post providers out there at chrispalmer.org.
Yeah. I can't really add much there, RPA. No one wants to call it that for obvious reasons. Nerdy is asking you, Chris, have you used smaller search engine ads like Yahoo or AOL?
Not AOL. Man, I was just deliberating with my brother about this. We've been not yet. But more importantly, we were looking at more like LinkedIn. I've tried Reddit. I want to go back to LinkedIn. I was trying to hammer the socials. Like everybody said, Facebook dead. There's like all these problems, but man, it's working over there. I like Facebook. So, no. Why? Is there opportunity, sir?
Let us know, Nerdy. If you're doing cool stuff. Other than entities, did you find any other novel ways to use NLP to improve your rankings?
Not necessarily. I mean, for co-occurring key phrases and entities is the primary function for that. Other ways to reword a particular paragraph, maybe, but no, those are the two primary functions for SEO that we're trying to extract: co-occurring key phrase and entities. And then which ones are the most related? That's it. No, nothing else too clever.
Likewise, also, I've got nothing I can add there. Sir Klopp, how would you increase referring domains? Using the link below is a great way to get a PR package, and see how I slipped that in there, Chris.
I like that. Hey.
But genuinely, Sir Klopp I was at an event and Ted Kabaitis was there. Very clever guy, as many people will know. And he's a big believer, based on all his data and all his testing, that referring domains is something that is of importance. And he's a big believer in the PR blasts from the likes of 38 Digital Market and whatnot, to get those referring domains up. But obviously, you've got that. You've got niche edits, guest posts, the old traditional PR. If you've got some cock and bull story you can feed to the press, genuinely, it may pick up a whole heap of links. So you've got all of those that you can put out there and try and increase that referring domain count. I think that is something I also believe it's of importance. So a good old PR blast helps. But anything else, Chris, you do to help with that?
I mean, increasing referring domains is getting unique links. Fast, cheap, I like PR. Fast, cheap, I like directories. You know, fast, cheap citations, directories, Web 2, PR. You know, get that referring domain count up. I like the podcast circuit, you know, the social circuit. And then guest posts, pretty much link inserts. You know, your usual suspects. Nothing has changed. I really like image links. So that's about it. Or image, I should say, image platform links.
Yeah.
They're pretty tasty.
Lee Bandoni, good to see you, mate. With TikTok becoming the go-to destination for lots of search, especially under 30s, i.e. travel, what tools are you using to get maximum return via automation? You doing any kind of TikTok automation, Chris?
I produce 6 TikToks a day.
Using automation?
I mean, in order to help chop up the videos and to to make them look a little cooler. Yes, the young lady. Well, actually, she's an elderly lady. Actually, the lady that I have doing that, I'm sure she uses some type of tool. What I gave her, she hated, and then she started doing it her way with whatever. I don't know. I pay my $2 a piece, and that's it. You know,
you've got the likes of Opus Clip and things like that can work, Lee. I'm sure someone like Holly is making fucking videos using AI and all sorts of stuff. And well, I don't. She is. I know she's testing around. But yeah, I think TikTok is a platform not to be ignored. You know, I certainly think there's traffic there and people there, and you know, trying to leverage it for exposure is a no-brainer for a lot of businesses. So yeah, I've been just
hammering them. Here, this is it's free advertising. Like, I'm gonna go over to Google and give these dudes like $7 a click to get somebody to come in, and out of every 100, one person might buy a citation package. Meanwhile, TikTok is allowing us to advertise for free.
Yeah,
I'm just like, all right, 6 times a day, just hammering them.
Do it while you can.
That's right.
Eric is saying, how do you guys track phone call conversions from the client's website to gauge effectiveness? Do you use Google Analytics or some other way to collate the data? You can't obviously track fully what is being done on a phone call through your Google Analytics or anything like that. But you do have the ability to record the calls and all that kind of stuff using the likes of CallRail and various other things. So people do that to track it. That's whether the client allows you to track the calls, though. You know, if it's a lead gen and it's your site, then they don't have an option. But let's say Palmer comes to me, Craig, I want you to do some SEO for me, hypothetically. And I say, right, Palmer, that's fine. We're giving me access to analytics. We're going to connect up the contact form. Palmer, we're giving you a new phone number as well so that I can fucking listen into your business. You're going to say, yeah. Sure you are. Fuck off. That's just a conversation. You know, the client might want that tracked, and you know, maybe you could get a CallRail number and put that on the website, which forwards on to their number, and it is all recorded, and you can get an idea of volume in terms of what they get calls wise. And obviously you can listen to them as well. So there you go.
I just set that up. I never had I set up one for myself, an OVR system. Hello. Yeah. Thank you for calling.
So did you use your own voice?
No. Heck, no. Now on the second, if they pick an option, yes. But initially, no. It's like a lady's voice. Something I would want to hear.
Yeah.
Just being honest, yeah. If I heard like some dude, I'd be like, oh, jeez, this isn't starting good.
RPA, how do you rate Rank Club? I
Rank Club?
haven't personally used them, so
What's Rank Club?
it's a link.
Oh, that's RPA's site.
Is it?
No, I have no idea.
No.
I would assume.
Nah, Rank Club sell links, that's for sure. It's not a vendor that I've personally used.
Oh, competition. Get the RPA. Come on. Get this guy out of here. No. No, I never used them.
Not personally used them, and I'm not going to sit here and try and run a competitor down. That's not how we do things. Well, not how I do things anyway. Don't know about Palmer, but
I've never used them. That's honest. I have bought, though, I can't lie, though. I have gone out there to what is out in the marketplace, the creme de la creme, to figure out, okay, well, what's the process? Like, I've burnt dollars going through certain checkouts and buying links from who advertises heavily or very well-known people to see, okay, well, what does the site look like?
Yeah.
I call it customer conditioning. What do they expect to receive?
Yeah.
So I have spent marketing dollars on figuring out, okay, well, what's that look like? What does a $300 link look like, or $200 link from some of these well-known vendors? And that's when I've figured it all out. Gee, it looks like mine.
Eric is asking, do you think there's a limit in how many exact match anchor text for a keyword you should use on internal links on the website?
Well, yes, I do. When you're optimizing your page, right? We're trying to optimize to what Google's rewarding, or as close as possible. There's other factors at play, but on page SEO, if there's an anchor text on the page, that has to be counted to the overall SEO of the page. So if you want to make the exact match on the page a hyperlink or an internal link, go ahead. But I can't throw off the count of the page. If the page is requiring 38 references of, SEO consultant, okay, I need 30. That's the count. How many A tags do I want on the page? You're looking at basic optimization. They're not counted differently. They're actually counted with more weight in A tag, right? So it's up to you, my friend. If you want to manipulate, use a jump link.
Yeah.
Yes. My favorite.
That makes sense. There's not much I can add there, unfortunately. He has pretty much said it all. Eric has another question. In terms of guest posts, how do you determine what article you will keep for your own site or guest post? Should your best quality articles always be used for guest posts or internally? So I think, Eric, I don't quite understand this question as such. So I don't go out there and get a whole bunch of articles written and then think, oh, I'm going to keep these 3 for my website. Guest posts, we would typically use someone to write those articles, potentially use ChatGPT. All I want is them indexed. Yes, if they can rank as well, great. But it's not something I would consider putting on my own website. They're 2 very different things. So a lot more time and effort would go into producing an article for my own website as opposed to a guest post is the honest answer for me. All I care about on the guest post is the link equity that I'm getting from it. Yeah, if it can rank as well, great, and everything else. But it's not something where, should your best quality articles always be used for guest posts or internally? Your best quality articles should always go on your own website, in my opinion. Anything else, put it on guest posts. Would be my advice. I don't know if you would say something different, Chris, or...
No, that's the best stuff that you're actually going to write and spend your time goes on your site. a guest post that just needs to be good enough to stay in the search results, only for sale. I really just need to show up, want to, but yes.
Paul Lovell says simply static plugin. He's finding the Cloudflare pages super easy. But what's easy for you, Paul, might be very difficult for Palmer. Who knows? Who knows? Ursol also asks, is the paid version of AIPRM worth it? I certainly have it, and I like all the kind of options that people are adding on there, all the kind of prompts and everything else. So I certainly find it worth it for sure, and have been a user since its infancy. If you don't know what that is, it's a Chrome extension from Christoph Semper, the guy who is behind Link Research Tools.
That dude, Paul. Paul, do you have more than, basically more than 100, Paul? Or do you have 100 or less sites up utilizing that system? Like, do you have more than 100? Let's just say, do you have 200 or more, or 150 and more, over the 100 mark, to where it would have to be separated into accounts? Or even if you get paid, you still get cut off on workers, right? So that's my question. You got a huge time saver, but how many sites do you have? How many sites? That's the question. There's a difference between setting up 100 or 150. Yeah, no problem. When you start getting to 2,000, there's something. It's a pain.
Nerdy's also saying, Paul, does that set up subdomains too, or do you need to get that separate? So let us know if you can. I've got a feeling that Paul's come in late and is running a little bit behind. So I'm not sure if he will answer, but we'll give him a minute or so to answer. But if not, Paul, even if you can comment on the video with an answer, so that Palmer and Nerdy can grab the answer to that question at a later time. And the only reason I think Paul's running delayed is he literally answered that probably well just now, but we spoke about that 20 minutes ago or whatever. So so I think he is running behind. I think he is. So we are going to finish up there, guys. But Paul, please do leave a comment under there with your answer, please. And obviously, thank you to everyone for all your questions, as always. And do check out 38 Digital Market. The link is below if you're interested in Randy's services. Also, do check out mrchrispalmer.org. He's got all sorts of services and stuff as well. And please do make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, guys.
Horror links are
back.
Horror.
Thank you. See you later, guys.
See you guys.